disturbing influencer is losing his mind, and we're gonna talk about it. Hello, you gorgeous donuts. The Liver King is one of the most controversial creators over the last 5 years, in my opinion. His real name is Brian Johnson, and he's a 47-year-old man who, like I've just said, goes by the name The Liver King. Nice to see your dad's taken the divorce well. Imagine that's what your dad did after the divorce. He gave himself an alias. You'd be good. Over the last 5 years, he's gained millions of followers because he kind of shuns modern conveniences, and he basically lives like a caveman. He films himself doing all of these exercises where he kind of uses the natural environment to give himself the physique that he's got, and he also claims to be 100% natural. Like, looking at his body, like, you wouldn't suspect that, but later in this video we're going to discuss how that might not be true. But the most interesting part of his brand, and definitely the most famous kind of strand of it, is the fact that this guy only survives on raw food. He'll often just eat a raw liver just like straight without cooking it or anything. It's honestly one of the wildest things I've ever seen, and that's what we're going to take a look at first before we get onto stuff later in this video where the Liver King has actually been jailed because of his beef with another huge creator. So the Liver King has over 10 million followers across all of these platforms, and like I just said, one of his main content strands is surviving on raw food.
This is what Liver King is having for dinner. I got a beef sashimi platter right here. All different cuts of beef. Oh.
How is this bloke redder than the raw meat? I've got no idea. Did he order his physique like medium rare? What is going on here? Also, do you really need that much meat? Like, surely that's just death on a plate right there. Like, the gout's gonna be kicking in by the time you get into bed, man. Also, like, no sauce as well. I know this is like, you know, the minor inconvenience of the whole thing, and he kind of refutes conveniences, I get that. But straight, just raw meat. When I go to a restaurant and someone orders the steak, like, blue, even I, like, give them a little bit of a side eye, like, mate, are you okay? But this is just a whole new level. I've seen nothing like it, man.
Man, when I first started eating raw beef, I can't say I really loved it. Now I can legitimately say, more. Wow. But also different.
It's the fact there's just like cooked food here right next to him. Just so close, you know, so far, but so close. What happens when he's sitting down with his wife and, you know, they're having like a nice meal? Is she also going to eat the raw food? Do you know what I'm saying? Like this, at least it'll bring your electric bill down, your electric bill. You know, you've not got to put the pan on and stuff, right? You don't really need to use all that. Still though, right, I would rather just pay the electric bill than have all my food raw. I'd never be off the toilet if I ate like this, honestly.
The chefs made a mistake. They walked away when Liver King went to make his Black Rifle coffee. And look at what I found. I found 15 pounds of raw, thinly sliced.
Sorry, how do you just stumble across that? I mean, the guy's got chefs, so I think anything's really possible at this point. Also, why does this guy have chefs? If there's one person who doesn't need a chef, it's this bloke. How do you just stumble across this much sliced meat? It's like walking across your house. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, there's a whole cow there. I didn't even realise. I see, I'm being too specific here. Like, the thoughts that I'm having are they're too vile to relay them. I'm going to tell you anyway. I just want to... No, I don't actually. Should I say it? I was going to say I want to see what his arsehole looks like, but then I don't because, you know, like, if given the opportunity, I'd probably turn it down. I don't really want to see anyone's arsehole if I'm being honest. But I am intrigued by the... No, I'm not.
Liver King here, and this is what I'm having for my Monday dinner. We got liver with breakfast, lunch, and dinner because liver is king.
Also, like, liver proper honks as well, you know. Like, proper stinks. Have you ever tried to cook liver? Oh, I'd rather be sitting in reactor 4 at Chernobyl. At least the smell will be a little bit better, even if it's gonna kill us. I mean, this is probably gonna kill you as well. I get the whole, like, you know, if this is your thing, going back in time and you just kind of want to live off the land a little bit, that's what you want to do. But you do know, like, we have progressed as a society. Like, people lived that like this back then because they didn't have the ability to cook food like we do now. I'd argue just cooking the food's just better in general. Yes, it makes you a little bit more quirky that you're eating it raw, but is it really worth the quirkiness, you know, the effect it's going to have on your health?
Bones, not human bones, cow bones. We're going to get the pure marrow right out of it. And with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we're always going to have a whole beef protein shake. We got a Liver King bar already crunched up in there. These Liver King bars are the bomb.
Wait, so has he got his own protein powder? Surely that's like a modern convenience, right? People take that when they don't have the time to have, you know, all the rest of the protein from their diet. I don't think cavemen back in the day had like a My Protein deal, mate. Or maybe they did. I don't know what was in, you know, their bio back in the day. Maybe it was. This is why I feel like this guy is just doing this to be performative. I don't actually feel like he does it because this is actually his passion in life. He's already sold a product to us.
We got a testicle, because why would you eat a vegetable when you can devour a testicle?
Oh yeah, that's my motto. Honestly, that is my motto. I'm like, cauliflower, are you taking the piss, love? Testicle. That's what I want for tea. Put it on there.
Meatballs in here, it's a blend of organs. And we got the salad, because no dinner would be complete without the salad. That's my pork rind salad. Somebody get me my maple syrup. I mean, my dressing.
I love how, like, people that look like this as well always have, like, such a big beard. It just completes the look. Like, if this guy didn't have the big beard, it just wouldn't hit the same. Do you know what I mean? Why does he slurp everything, Mike? At least have some grace and decorum. Surely they had that back in cavemen days. They'd eat with their mouth closed at least. Also, bloody hell, look at the veins on this bloke, man. One paper cut and it's game over. This guy loses every single game of rock, paper, scissors that's ever been made. Paper kills him every time, man.
We got testicle meatballs. We call them meaty balls. Oh, yeah.
Oh, mate.
Wow.
You know, you don't get meals for camp for doing this, you know. You don't have to survive on rice and beans if you don't eat the testicle. What do you do? This guy was made for I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here. Oh, that's not the first time that he's had a testicle in his mouth. He knows his way around it too well, man. Oh, who wants testicle meatballs for a starter? Ghastly, mate. Ghastly.
I'm going to start with some concoction. We got some grass-fed, grass-finished homemade yogurt, some concoction, some maple syrup, a little bit of salt. We got a nice protein shake, 30 to 40 grams of protein. Of course, we got the liver. We got the liver with some maple syrup, some salt. We got a nice piece of femur bone with some bone marrow in here. And guys, this is how you get the bone marrow out.
Oh, I'm good. I don't need a demonstration. I believe you. I believe you can do it. It's fine. It's alright. Like, you don't need this much protein. This is like far too much protein. His intestines are gonna fail on him. Like, why does he have the protein shake on top, which I guarantee is at least another 30 grams of protein? Your body can only process so much of this stuff. You do know that, right? Like, I studied this for years at college. Like, what I wanted to do before YouTube was like nutrition, physio, like recovery, helping athletes recover as quick as possible. Like, this is just not healthy. In this large amount is what I'm trying to say. Now, if you thought them eating videos were bad, it gets one step worse when he actually like hunts an animal and just eats it straight away.
What up, primals? Liver King here. We just took down a Mongolian yak. And where do you think we're gonna start? Of course, the liver first, because liver is king.
Mate, don't do it. No. Oh.
More!
You need to have a word, fella. You're really doing this for the love of the game. You need to sort it out. Oh, where, man? Work with us here, will you? Just a little bit. You don't need to prove it anymore. I believe you, right? You're dead cool. You eat food raw. Honestly, mate, you're sick. Like, I want to be you when I grow up. But just stop now. Can you imagine being like this yak's friends? Like, you're watching from a distance if, like, you were the ones that escaped. And you just see this random bloke just, like, chomping down on your mate's liver. You'd be like, look at that prick. He's mental. I'm not going anywhere near his house. I don't care if it's got the best grass. I'm not going near it.
Liver King is having liver, surprise, surprise, for dinner today. And its little cousin, don't forget, chicken liver, cooked. We also have some delicious, crispy on the outside, roast beef patties.
Okay, at least he's actually cooked those, okay? That's a little bit of progress here, right? They're burnt on the outside. Okay, Liver King, I'm kind of here for this new walk that you've got. Just looking at him here, he kind of looks like a character in The Walking Dead that would come in like the later seasons, and you're like, whoa, he's a little bit mental. He just doesn't seem like he's actually living like in current times. He just looks like he's built for the apocalypse.
Primals, this is what Liver King and QCP are having for breakfast today. That's right, bull balls.
That's... God. Huh? That cannot be what... It cannot be a bull ball. But balls, plural. You're not just gonna, like, take a bite out. This guy's got, like, an obsession. He's got an obsession with testicles, right? There's an underlying obsession with testicles here. That you know, he's not admitting anything, but, you know... We all know, don't we? He loves his testicles, the Liver King, bless him. Just using your free will to eat the different testicles of animals has got to be a crime. You can't kill an animal and then just go and eat its testicles first. It's just too cold, man. You've just got to screw loose at this point, man. He's gonna be like notorious in the animal kingdom these days. Oh yeah, watch out for him. He's the testicle muncher. The person that I really feel sorry for in the Liver King universe is his wife, as he often tries to get her to also like join in on this weird thing he's got going on.
Valentine's Day is about spending time with the people that you love most. And there's no people that I love most more than my liver queen. Eat your heart out.
Nah, she wasn't feeling that. Like, she was just like, just give her a little lick. She's like, nah, I'm not eating the heart. Not like, you've literally just pulled that straight out the animal. I'm alright. Straight away, she didn't look comfy from the offset. She was like, I don't want to be here. Like, I'm doing it because it's Valentine's Day. Also, this is not what you should be doing with your fella on Valentine's Day. Just go to a restaurant, get a takeaway, or, you know, just chill together, right? If you don't want to spend the money, just literally spend time with each other. Don't go and, you know, kill an animal and then straight away just get a tart out and then munch on it together. It's not really like the kind of Lady and the Tramp vibe I'm kind of going for, you know, when they kind of join at the middle. This isn't the same vibe at all. This is just wrong. Now, on top of his eating habits, he also kind of brings elements of the olden days into his everyday life. Like, this is how he sleeps.
Liver King here. This is how Liver King and Liver Queen sleep. You'll see that we have our little wool pads on top of these little wooden boxes that we made. It's just some plywood so that we can elevate the beds, especially in a high humidity environment, so we don't get any mold underneath. And we have these thin wool pads that are just, I don't know, an inch or two, just a little bit of stuff down here to give enough cushion to kind of mimic what our early ancestors would have done with some local plants, so you're not sleeping directly on the floor.
God bless the Liver Queen, man. She doesn't deserve this. I mean, you know, she's, you know, this family's probably millionaires now, but they're not even able to enjoy the money, you know, because he's got her sleeping on planks, man. What's going on here? Just get a mattress. It doesn't make it any more quirkier or cooler. Why would you want to sleep on just some wooden planks? Exposed as well. Liver Queen, deaf, sleeping with the liver neighbour. Where you going, Liver Queen? Oh, I'm just off out. Don't worry about me. I'm just going to the shop. Straight to the neighbours. Right, oh, he's just got a new one. Like a premier in bed in there. Bro, I think our ancestors would gladly take a king-sized purple mattress if they had the choice. This is so true, though. It's because they didn't have the ability. That's why they did it. You're telling me if, like, you know, let's say an ancestor from ages ago comes back and he's used to sleeping on a wooden plank, and I give him the opportunity, because he's part of me family, to sleep on the wooden plank or sleep on a memory foam mattress. You think he's choosing the plank? Is he And if he is, he's out. I don't want him in anyway. Freak. I want to know if the Liver King uses AC, because I know the heat in America is no joke. I want to know if he's burning to a crisp. I want to really see if he's about this life.
You sleep on a piece of wood. Why?
You know, first thing I'll say is a lot of people think that I actually don't do it. I have a video that shows my bed, and anyone who comes over, I'm like, you want to check out my bed? I sleep on wooden planks. Check it out. I got this tiny, thin wool mat. It's about that thick. It's just made out of wool.
Also, like, just put your shirt on for the podcast. Like, what you doing, man? You're shirtless and you've got a snapback on, and you're nearly 40, man. Have a word.
Before we used to just sleep on wood, and my Liver Queen is hardcore. She's like, we're just going to sleep on wood. And I said, fine, let's just sleep on wood. After about a year of having bone bruises on the hip and shoulders, like, listen, I don't think my body's adapting. And we went to visit with primitive culture tribes, and they all have a little bit of cushion. Either some natural ground or some leaves, some little cushion. And I said, you know what, I'm going to do that too. I'm going to do that too. And I slept much better.
But why, though? So if you're putting a cushion in between you and the wood, then automatically you're not sleeping like ancestors, right? The ancestors just had wood. You can't handle it. So if you're going to get a little cushion, might as well just get a mattress. Tomato, tomato, it's the same thing. Now, usually when I do these videos, I often, like, say, like, oh, as long as they're happy, like, who else really cares? But I can tell, like, looking at him, he doesn't seem happy, and you're going to see later in this video how that's definitely true. He's doing all of this for, like, attention and admiration. Like, even when he said on that podcast there, the first thing he said is, a lot of people don't believe us, like, there's a video, like, he needs to be validated by other people's opinions. Like, that's what his entire kind of personality is based off. And like I said in the intro, this is why he often shows off his physique and does, like, really kind of weird exercises that just isn't really, like, productive at all. I call this one the fighting in my sleep exercise. you doing? Surely this has got to be an ick, right? Surely Liver Queen's got the ick by now. You know, even eating the raw liver would probably do it for me. Oh no, this is the fighting in your sleep one. This is the fighting in your sleep. That kind of looks like when, you know, you're pretending you want to fight someone, but someone's holding you back and you're like, I'll do it. Oh god, if he wasn't there, I'd do it. I don't know what this one is. This is kind of like, you know, you get in bed after a really long day and you're just trying to get comfy. I don't do that. I do when I'm alone, but I don't want to give Chloe the ick. Now, everything I've just reacted to and shown you there is like the rise of the Liver King and where people like really started to kind of, you know, where he started to gain his huge audience, basically. However, he lost a significant amount of his audience when he got hugely exposed for the first time. A fitness YouTuber by the name More Place, More Dates actually unearthed these emails from 2022, I believe, where the Liver King was buying steroids. Apparently, he was spending over £11,000 on these anabolic enhancers, which like he's told everyone that he's natural, and then he's like actually relying on 10,000 plus worth of anabolic steroids. Like that is really, really bad, because he said that his entire physique was down to like eating raw liver, and he's made people believe this. He's like influenced people to kind of follow his diet as well, when, you know, in reality it's actually a really like bad thing for the health if they do this. And because of this, obviously people stopped buying his products and his supplements, because, you know, he's basically a liar at this point. He's a fraud. And he got so heavily cancelled for this that he actually made an apology video, which is his most viewed video ever.
I'm making this video to apologize because I f***ed up.
My left ear is going to really enjoy this one. That must be like, you know, one of the side effects of only eating raw liver. Your right ear just kind of, you know, defeats on you.
Because I'm embarrassed and ashamed. Because I lied and I misled a lot of people. I've stated that this is a complicated as topic, at least to me it is, because before social media, I was rich and anonymous, and after social media, I'm still rich, but no longer anonymous, and I never expected this kind of exposure in the public eye.
So basically, you didn't expect this many people to be looking for holes in your story. You thought you would get away with it because people weren't looking into you.
Well, clearly I did it wrong, and I'm here now to set the record straight. Yes, I've done steroids, and yes, I am on steroids, monitored and managed by a trained hormone clinician. Liver King, the public figure, was an experiment to spread the message, to bring awareness to the 4,000 people a day who kill themselves, the 80,000 people a day that try to kill themselves. Our people are hurting at record rates with depression, autoimmune, anxiety, infertility, low ambition in life.
Oh no. So you're saying the sole reason why you were, you know, hunting these animals and then straight away just eating their testicles and their liver is to help men's mental health? I don't buy it. You were doing this for money. Like, the amount of products you were selling doing this and basing your entire image of being natural and only surviving on raw meat was for you. It was selfish because you wanted to be really famous and have loads more money. That's the reason. That's the sole reason why you would do something as wacky as this. If anything, you're probably like contributing more negatively to men's mental health, because they're going to be thinking, if I do this and eat this way, I'm going to get the physique you have. And then they're not, because they're not taking the steroid. So they're going to feel worse about their own genetics and themselves because they think you're natural. It's not the same, but I imagine it's very similar to, you know, when people have work done to their face or something and they don't admit that they've had work done. And it can make people, like, you know, viewing them on Instagram feel worse about their own, like, you know, facial features. This has a detrimental impact on people.
Feeling lost, weak, and submissive. So I made it my job to model, teach, and preach a simple, elegant solution called Ancestral Living, the 9 ancestral tenets, so our people no longer have to suffer, so we can collectively express our highest and most dominant form. This is my fight. This is why I exist.
It's bullshit though, isn't it? I'm just saying it's just bullshit. You've been caught out and you're trying to, like, frame this as if you were just trying to help people. Like, you're trying to it's actually kind of disgusting. You're trying to hide behind, you know, the fact that you were helping. This is really disgusting. And I like that all the comments are kind of, you know, I don't like how people hate and kind of like tell them in death threats and everything, but I like that people are telling him, look, like, this isn't on, you can't just lie to it again. However, this didn't really stop his fame, as he actually got he even got even more famous after this, obviously, because people were talking about him, and Netflix even decided to do an entire documentary on him. For some reason they decided to do that. I guess it's because he's a controversial figure and they knew people would watch it. Now, moving on, you probably think already, like, in this video, video, we've kind of covered the worst of the Liver King. We're only getting started and it's only going to get worse from here. Obviously, because of his apology and because of him getting exposed for basically lying to all of his viewers, a lot of online creators within the fitness space, and just like in general, were kind of mocking him for this, calling him out for this. And one of the biggest creators that was kind of mocking the Liver King for lying was Joe Rogan. He said on his podcast that the Liver King was a fraud, misleading people, you know, which is that's a fair criticism. I need to tell you this for context, but Joe Rogan also said that the Liver King multiple times has begged to come on his podcast.
Dude, I gotta get on your podcast. I'm like, you gotta get the f away from me. That guy's never been on my podcast to this day.
Came up to me in Vegas. Yeah, one of my security guards stopped him.
Like, how many UFC events did he try and cozy up?
He was front row at one of my shows in Vegas.
Oh, damn.
At the MGM. Yeah, and then I saw him again at the Canelo fight. He was trying really hard to get on the podcast. And he's been trying really hard to get on now. He contacted a few friends of mine. And some of them that have, like, Bert Kreischer, that had him on the show.
Yeah, he told me he's trying to get on.
Yeah, for what? For what? Say that more? Like, come on, this is dumb.
And this kind of exposes the entirety of what the Liver King's actual, like, ambition is. It's not actually to help people. He just wants to be as famous as possible and having as many people talking about him as possible. Like, his ego just needs to be fed and not with raw meat a lot of the time. Joe also said that the Liver King has kind of been stalking everything he's doing, and the Liver King actually responded to this.
Joe Rogan criticized you, which I know you know about because I've heard you talk about that before. Mm-hmm. Joe Rogan's a big person in terms of his platform. Big. How did that feel when he said, he alluded that you're on steroids or something like that?
Yeah.
How did that feel?
Oh, cloud nine.
Really?
I've entered his ecosystem. Joe Rogan is talking about Liver King. You know how obscure I was to most of his audience before he's talking about me. And so I love it, and now I have the opportunity to engage deeper with this idea. I think it's dangerous when somebody points the finger and has a self-limiting belief about themselves or somebody else or anything for that matter. Like, it was impossible to sell a podcast for $200 million.
So basically what you're saying is any press is good press. It doesn't matter what people are saying about us as long as people are talking about us. Again, just kind of reiterate my view of this guy and how he's just kind of really fame hungry. Also, like, I don't know for the people watching, like, I don't know if I'm being too harsh here. I'm being more harsh than I normally am in other videos. But why should we, why, this guy is doing loads of podcasts. What does he really have to say? Like, why should we dedicate 2 hours to listen multiple times? You eat raw food and you have a beard and you take steroids. Like what is there? Do you know what I mean? Like, surely you're just saying the same thing over and over if you're going on all of these podcasts. Oh yeah, eat raw meat, and then yeah, eat testicles, and then I never have a shirt on as well. And yeah, I inject myself steroids as well. I don't tell people about that though. Now, although the Liver King seemed kind of chill about Joe Rogan speaking about him then, this is where we started to see how frightening the Liver King actually is, as he's kind of launched this weird mission to take Joe Rogan down.
Joe Rogan, I'm calling you out. My name's Liver King. Man to man. I'm picking a fight with you. Yeah. I have zero training in jiu-jitsu. You're a black belt. You should dismantle me. But I'm picking a fight with you. Your rules. Whatever you want me to weigh, I'll weigh it. I weighed 190 this morning.
Why are his legs shaking? Are you seeing this? They're doing the Harlem Shake like he's speaking and they're going. It's like Billy Elliot. Like, it's like he's river dancing. Like, he sings there and he's going. I would imagine he is river dancing. That would be impressive. See, I'd listen to that on a podcast, how he learned about how to do that. Why is he holding golden guns as well? This is just such a weird video. There is another one, but it is restricted. Instagram has restricted it, unfortunately, where he's asking Joe Rogan for a fight. And Joe Rogan hasn't really replied to him, so he's just made it his mission to talk about Joe Rogan for hours on end, like in every single video he posts.
Do you believe you like liver? Have you ever talked about liver before, Joe Rogan? Oh, what about Bond? What about that one? Do you like that one? Those are the ancestral tenets, the real ones, not the one that you made up about sunning your butthole. That was the imaginary one that you were hoping was on the list.
Now, what makes this even more creepier is apparently he's traveled to where Joe Rogan lives as well. This is getting really, really creepy at this point. Imagine if this guy didn't have, a social following and people didn't know who he is. You'd probably call the police. Someone looks like they're hunting for you to kill you. Especially when he gives himself the name The Liver King. It's probably going to ruin your weekend if you hear that. Just lock your doors extra tight that night.
$1 million, and it can all go away if I won't say another word if anyone from your team contacts anyone in my team or someone in the comments, or I don't check DMs, so don't do that one. You can send me I don't know, get in touch with someone on my team. It won't be that tough. Liver King.
10 million for what? For you to stop posting TikToks? 10 million for what? I don't follow anything that Joe Rogan does, but I can't imagine that he's frightened by, like, what you do. Because I'm not, and I'm like half the size of Joe Rogan. And what I think the creepiest video that he did was when he was kind of asking where Joe Rogan's family will be and, like, asking his audience to find out.
If anyone knows where its family's going to be today, if you could let my team know so that we can stay within 200 yards, not close to them, to stay away from them. Oh.
Again, I don't want to, like, be too harsh here. Looking at him here when he doesn't have his effects on, when he doesn't have, you know, the right lighting, like everything to make him look as good as possible, you can tell that the lifestyle that he's been living has had such a detrimental effect on how he looks. Like, this man has aged so much from, you know, having this lifestyle. And it's sad. Like, I actually feel bad for him. Like, I know I've took the... But on a human level, this man is in so much pain, and he's trying to kind of cover it by doing different things, like trying to, like, you know, reframe his mind and give himself purpose, but he's just choosing the weirdest methods ever. Now, because these threats escalated to a level which was really, really creepy, he actually got arrested and put in a cell.
Oh, we're chilling. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't care. Film all you want. Get back.
Yes, sir. We're back here, man.
By the way, look at the Doberman, just like circling, like, don't you worry, you're taking me down, are you? Take me down, are you? I'll see about that one. We'll see about that one, don't you worry. But again, like, you know, you're not, like, this is a guy in, like, in his mid-years. Like, what are you doing? And as you can see here is his mugshot photo, in all his glory. He's still got the beard though, right? Still coming in strong with the beard, you've got to give him that. Detectives reviewed the posts and observed that Johnson was travelling to Austin while continuing to make threatening statements. Austin being where Joe Rogan lives. Detectives contacted Mr. Rogan, who stated he had never had any interaction with Johnson and considered the post to be threatening. Based on this information, detectives obtained an arrest warrant for Johnson on a charge of terroristic threat. Like, this man it's literally been arrested for being a terrorist. What is this pipeline? Now, he later did get released after being arrested and put into a cell, and some of his videos since, like, coming out are, like, equally as alarming. Like, this wasn't a wake-up call for him to stop. He's decided to take things to, like, the next level.
Someone else whose first name rhymes with blow, whose last name is Rogan, I'm not allowed to say it for copyright. I might sue you about it. You're not allowed to laugh. I'll sue you. I'll put you in jail on that one too. If anybody knows if he's around the Capitol, there's a restraining. I'm not allowed to say that either. Just let me know if he'll be within 200 yards. How do I say this without saying, oh, this is tough. I know now it looked really smart. My name is Liver King. I earned that name. I'm a real king. I'm going to the capital of Austin with my dogs, axe and mace. I'm inviting my queen to be there with me. I hope she comes.
What this looks like is he's trying to kind of intimidate and bully, and this is the energy it gives. Like, you're just trying to kind of make someone feel uncomfortable. And I know it's like Joe Rogan, and I think he's, like, you know, he's meant to be, like, really tough and stuff, so he's probably not going to get intimidated. But if this was somebody else, like, somebody else would feel really intimidated by this. Like, I imagine, like, I would, if this guy was saying he's in Newcastle and he's looking for us, I'd be like, probably just gonna do click and collect from the shop today. Probably, you know, I'm not gonna leave the house for a good week now. Also, you can't really pass it off as a joke either. Like, the videos that we saw, they're not jokes. It's a very strange joke. You know, you've got a very unique sense of humour, if so. But just to end this video, like, I am intrigued to see what happens with the Liver King after this, because he's only gonna go on more of a downward spiral. And it is pretty sad to see what this guy was like before he decided that he wanted loads of money and fame. Like, this is what he looked like. He just looks so different. He just looks like the average guy. However, like, I imagine a lot of the same personality traits were in him then. It's just now that he's, you know, he's got the ego, the money, the fame. It just brings out like all of his worst traits. I don't think this guy's a very nice guy at all. Let me know your opinions, donuts. I did find this interesting, just to kind of, you know, I like talking about people's journeys on social media and how they end up the way they do. So hopefully you found this interesting at least. Thank you very much for watching, and if you want to watch another video from me, donuts, click this one pod here. Okay, I'll do another little mini documentary on someone. Ah, you'll love it. Go and watch it.
Kirkham, baby.